Hello everybody, we are here with our Week 3 SPL predictions. Last week we did quite well. We only missed 4 games out of, oh god, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Should have done this math before. 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 games, we missed 4, so we got 2/3, about 66%, pretty good. Way better than we did in Week 1, so we've increased that. So maybe things will kind of stable out a little bit, but we'll see. Who knows? This is the SPL, where the points are made up, and the seeding doesn't matter. So we'll go ahead and take a look. First game up, we've got on Thursday. We've got, of course, our European friends going up first, as always. Dignitas over Elevate. We're getting to the point in the season, guys, where some of these are going to start to be a lot easier to get into. Because you're going to be able to just go right into those slash lines and kind of see what's been happening. Even more so with this slash line, Dignitas, one of the stronger rosters in Europe. I expected them at the start of the season to be top 3. Nothing has really changed so far. And so I don't think they should have any problems over here with Elevate. Cyclone GG and Norvis Orsa. This one's a little bit more interesting. Cyclone GG, of course, and Norvis Orsa both having fought their way into the SPL for this split. Norvis Orsa having played 2 more games than Cyclone GG at this point to be factored into their win-to-loss ratio. But Cyclone GG not having found a win yet at 0-4. Norvis Orsa has found those wins. But, you know, they're not winning all their games. They're only winning half of them. If they were going to 2-0, though, on the side of Norvis Orsa, this would probably be the game. This is the one that you're looking at for the 2-0, and we're going to give that to our friends over at Mr. Orsa. Next up on Thursday, we've got In Memory of Gabe versus Noble. Noble having started to really recently turn around some of their roster. Not their roster, but I should say their performance. I believe they lost 2-0 in their first set, and now they've split the last 2 games. If I recall correctly, that could be wrong, but that would be what I'd say right off the top of my head. So they have been playing better. Memory of Gabe, though, looking to be very strong this season. Top 3 teams you're looking at. Memory of Gabe, LG, and Eager, most likely for North America, with Enemy kind of as that wild card for top 3. This could very well be a split, guys. Would not surprise me at all. But I think that we probably got the greatest percentage chance of Gabe taking both of those. Next up, we got ALG versus Enemy, the exact opposite slash lines here. ALG just finding a recent win in a split in their last set. Enemy, of course, only losing 1 so far. Both teams have only played 2 sets, so nothing too detrimental for either team. Both of these scores can flip in the opposite direction very quickly. Enemy showing that once again, Payne had, you know, basically picked up a pretty solid roster and the people he had to replace. Allegiance having a bit of a slow start to the season. People thought they were going to be one of the strongest teams. It's still early in the split, but it's a pretty short split. So basically, here in Week 3, you've got to start, you know, getting onto the wins if you want to, you know, make sure you're in the top side of the SPL. And this one should be actually pretty close, and I've got this going the way of split. That should actually be a good set. Moving ourselves on into Saturday, we've got Energy versus Cyclone GG. Energy may have had a weird start to their season, losing their first 3 games, but now they've taken it back and they've won 3 in a row. Energy seems to be on a roll, and I don't see them stopping anywhere at Cycloneville. Valence Squad versus Norvis Orsa. Valence Squad definitely going to be one of your top 3 teams here coming out of Europe. They are looking incredibly strong right now. Lots of good plays coming out for them. Norvis Orsa does have a shot to take a game off of them, but if they took both games off of them, I'd be very surprised. Also, I'm pretty sure Valence Squad is not an actual team. I'm pretty sure it's just like them having a name. Wouldn't be surprised to see them get picked up by an organization fairly soon as well. But I'm giving it 2-0 to the old Valence Squad. And next up on Saturday, which is of course our European games that we've been doing, we got Obey Alliance versus Elevate. Obey making some very strong contention as well for being a top team, of course, starting off their season with that 2-0 over Energy at the very start. Absolutely incredible. Can't imagine that anybody on that team is anything but ecstatic. Now they've got to go up against Elevate, one of the teams that is struggling in Europe right now. No big deal. Obey 2-0. Finally, we've got Sanguine versus Dignitas. Once again, Sanguine having a hard time over in Europe. Dignitas going, we love our team right now. We're doing great. They should have no problem 2-0. Some of these games should be pretty straightforward. It's always the SPL. Crazy stuff can happen, but some of these should be pretty streamlined. All right, next up, we've got Eager versus In Memory of Gabe. This should be real close. This should be a barn burner, as they say. Eager only dropping one game right now. Memory of Gabe not dropping any game so far. Of course, Memory of Gabe will have that set earlier in the week. So these will both be 6-game slash lines. And of course, we'll figure out where Memory of Gabe ends up earlier this week. Depending on how they play earlier in the week, you may want to change these later game predictions, as of course I'm doing this at the beginning of the week and not after seeing some of the games on Thursday. But both of these teams coming out here, I think Eager is going to be relying, of course, too, on their heavy carries. They're going to be looking at Zatman and Best as their big options here for the carry. If Eager comes through with the W's, you're going to be looking at Best and Zatman to carry them. On the side of Gabe, it's a little bit more of a team effort. You're seeing less, I would say, on any individual in particular, and more it's about their team fights. Their synergy as a team is very strong already, even though they're new. And I think that in their team fights is going to be their strength, where they can come out on top, and that's what they're looking for. Should be a great set. Got it going split. Flashpoint and Noble, both of these teams having a fairly mediocre start to their split. Noble, of course, 2-4 right now. Flashpoint yet to find a win. Basically, this is going to be the marking point for these two teams on who's going to probably end up falling in the middle of the pack and who's going to end up falling in the bottom of the pack. Looking out for on these teams, MLC Stealth on mid lane for Noble is going to be your man to look out for. And on Flashpoint, looking out for Aquarius over in the solo lane. Should be a solid matchup, though. And we're going to go the way of split. Soar versus Enemy. Soar yet to have found a win, which I think has surprised a lot of people. It surprised me. I thought they would be very solidly, like, right in the middle of the pack, like 4th place. But they're having a hard start to their split. Not finding the wins yet. Enemy on the other side, of course, having a strong start to this split. I think people thought maybe Enemy would have fallen down a little bit. But Enemy, in fact, playing pretty well. If so, I mean, Soar has so much talent on their team that if they can just find a way to, you know, make it mesh, I can see them being a super strong team, but they're just not quite meshing yet. And I'll throw that 2-0 the way of Enemy. Finally, finishing up the week, we've got Luminosity versus Allegiance. Luminosity looking to be a strong contender for #1 in North America. Allegiance having a bit of a struggle here. Barracuda and boys on Luminosity. We saw Scary D, very much so, has the capabilities to carry the team as well. Everybody basically on that team has the individual skill to carry, which makes them incredibly hard to play against. And we're going to give that 2-0 the way of Luminosity. So finishing up our predictions for the week, guys, on Thursday, we've got Dig over Elevate. Following all the way through, you can see our game. Saturday, of course, starting off with Energy versus Cyclone with that 2-0. And then finishing up for North America and Sunday, we get a little bit closer in our games, a little bit more splits. Finishing up with that LG 2-0 over ALG. These are our predictions for the week, guys. Last week we did pretty good. Hopefully this week we can do even better. And that's all.
It's the final countdown. Ba-da-ba-boo. Ba-da-ba-ba-boo. Ba-da-ba-boo. The final countdown.